Good evening everybody, Flak is back, and today we have a new way on how to scam people out of their hard-earned scrap. I'm talking about the sexy, the raunchy, dare I say the mysterious world of Texas Hold'em poker. Face punches adding the poker to your shady world of Rust during the next force wipe, along with a new feature, the gestures. The gestures have long since been in the game, but they never had an interactive way on how to use them. However, now they do. Hold down the B key and you'll be greeted with this gesture menu. Here we can give a round of applause for the quality of this video. And here a friendly gesture you can use on the beach just before they kill you. Next we have the come over here, I have free candy. A hand signal we can use to show our meme superiority. The ability to call somebody out. Be confused. Dislike YouTube videos. Show approval. Do a victorious Viking victory chant, or of course greeting somebody a how do you do. If you like these gestures, please be sure to click on the thumbs up button so that Flak can love you long time. Currently there are 4 Texas Hold'em tables in place. In the main gambling hall we have a table for 4. Next door to the main gambling hall in the recycling room we've got a table for 6. Down at the stuff store we have a table for 3. And finally, I like to call the lonely corner down by the Airwolf monument, we have a table for 2. I also noticed this level 1 workbench here. I don't think it's been here, if I remember correctly. I don't know. But if it's been here before, please let me know in the comment section below because I am as confused as fuck. Now to get a game of Texas Hold'em going, we can mount the chair. You will see there's a little pouch in front of you, and if you look at the table, you can choose to play the game. The pouch in front of you is called your stack. It is where you keep your chips or your scrap. A minimum of 100 scrap is required and a maximum of 1000. Once you place your scrap inside the pouch and you look at the table and push E, and your opponent pushes E, the game of Texas Hold'em commences. One of us is automatically assigned the dealer, the person to his left becomes a small blind, the person on his left becomes the big blind, and a lot of complicated things start happening. Now, I don't know if you guys know the world of Texas Hold'em poker or not, but fear not, I will be explaining the rules of Texas Hold'em directly after I play this game with my Patreon, The Slice Factor. Eventually, after bluffing, calling, and raising your way to a potential victory, the game is over and the dealer shifts to the next position.
Nice.
But please be warned, the game of Texas Hold'em is freakishly competitive and addictive, and before long you'll have major pots in the bag. If you are a Texas Hold'em master, this is the end of the video for you. Be sure to gesture that like button. However, if you are not a master and you have no idea what Texas Hold'em is, here are the rules. In the world of Texas Hold'em, you can have a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 10 players. However, the biggest table in Rust is 6 players, so for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to make 6 fictitious players. One player automatically gets assigned as the dealer, and then we slap a giant D on him. To the left of that dealer, we have the small and the big blind, depending on how many players are in that game. The purposes of the small and big blind is to create a starting pot before the game even starts. The reason why we use the term blind is because they have to make bets before any cards are in play. Every player at the table gets 2 cards. Only you can see the 2 cards in your hand, nobody can see anybody else's cards. After the blinds have made their bets and the cards are on the table, the player to the left of the big blind needs to make his first move. At this stage, the actual betting begins. There are 3 possible moves that the player can make at this stage. They can either call, which means they match the bet of the previous player, aka the big blind. They could also choose to raise the bet to an amount of their choosing if they feel comfortable. Or if they're completely shit scared, they can fold their cards and be completely out of the round. This eliminates the player from the rest of the game. Now let's fictitiously play this game out like it was real. Player 4 is going to raise, making the pot even larger. Player 5 calls and matches the bet of the previous person, aka number 4. Player 6 calls, matching the bet of player 5. Player 1 or the dealer also calls, matching the current bet. Player 2 also calls, and then player 3 calls. You'll notice the small and big blind had to actually pay in scrap because their bets were smaller than the current call. All bets need to be the same before we progress. All the bets then go together to form the pot, and the person with the best hand or the person that forces everybody to fold wins the pot. Once everybody's made their first round bets and the pot becomes established, 3 cards get turned face up and are placed on the table. These are called the community cards. At this stage, those community cards are called the flop. Now the next round of betting begins. The first person to place a bet is the person to the left of the dealer that is still active, that didn't fold. An inactive player is somebody that chose to fold on the previous round. Now for this round there are no active bets, so player 2 can do one of three things. He can place a bet, he can choose to fold, or he can check, aka do nothing and wait for somebody else to make a move. You can only check if nobody's put out a bet before you. If they did make a bet, it would then be called a call. If you do choose to check and somebody else after you makes a bet, the rotation will go right around the table and come back to you, allowing you to either make a bet by calling, folding, or raising. Let's see an example of that. Starting at player 2, he checks, player 3 checks, player 4 checks, player 5 makes a bet, number 6 folds, and the rest of them call to match player 5's bets. After this round of betting, we have a fourth community card turned face up on the table. This is called the turn. Another betting round will ensue, and the same betting rules as before do apply. After that round, we add the fifth and final community card, and this is called the river. This is the final round of betting, and all the previous rules apply to this final round. After the fifth and final round of betting, we have something called the showdown. Everyone compares their 2 cards with the 5 community cards in the middle, and we determine who is the winner. What you'll be going for is getting the best possible 5 card combination. The person who has the best 5 card combination wins the pot. After the showdown, and we see that we have a winner over here, the next round begins. Except this time the dealer becomes the player to the left of the dealer, and the small blind moves over, and so on and so forth. Basically one giant shift. Now that you know how the game basically works, let's talk about what card combinations beats what card combinations. Starting at the weakest possible card combination, we have the pair. One pair is 2 cards that have the same rank. 2 pairs exactly the same as before, except 2 of them. 3 of a kind, that's when you have 3 cards of the same rank. A straight is 5 consecutive cards that run in the correct order. If we have 2 people that have a straight, the largest numeric straight wins the pot. A flush is when you have 5 cards of the same suit. A full house, that is 3 of a kind and a pair combined into one hand. 4 of a kind is when you have 4 cards of the same rank. A straight flush is the combination of a straight and a flush, and that's when you have 5 consecutive cards of the same suit. And then we have the absolute strongest hand in the game, the royal flush. That is 5 cards consisting of 10, jack, queen, king and ace, all of the same suit, aka royal flush. And you know what, that pretty much sums it up. I hope you guys took in all of this. I know it's a lot of information. If you did like the video, please be sure to click on the thumbs up button. It would really help me with the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. I would absolutely love to get to 100,000. To my darling patrons, thank you so much for your brilliant support. To the Slice Factor and to Norks, I really appreciate you guys helping me with this video. I literally had to record this video 3 times purely because every time I was done recording, Facepunch updated something a little bit more, and I'd rather have you guys know more later than to know less earlier. Thank you so much for granting me some of your time. I hope you have a fantastic day further. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, Flak out.